Khamira was born in Second Era 563, the daughter of King Hamilcar and Queen Numara of Anequina. For 13 years she lived as Princess of Rimmen until the Frostfall coup of Second Era 576, when Euraxian betrayed the Khajiit and seized the throne with her Nibonese mercenaries. Khamira's entire family was executed. To the world, she was dead as well. In truth, she survived, hidden away, and grew into a sharp-minded and fierce young woman. She became the ward and apprentice of Garish Rhi, Speaker of the Main, trained as his aide, agent, and sometimes even spy. In this role, she served the Khajiiti people from the shadows, carrying the Main's authority, speaking as his voice, and moving across Elsweyr with purpose. Beneath her quiet work, however, Khamira burned with a deeper resolve to free her homeland from Euraxia's tyranny and restore Anequina's rightful rule. By Second Era 582, Khamira's life changed forever. She stood alongside Abnur Tharn and the Vestige as they faced Euraxia's armies, and an even greater threat unleashed by mistake, the dragons of the Halls of Colossus. At Riverhold, Euraxia's soldiers attacked with necromantic aid, reanimating the dead to bolster their ranks. Side by side with her childhood friend Zamorak and the allies of the defense force, Khamira rallied her people to hold the line. When the dragon Balokdan descended to finish the job, Khamira roared defiance. There, before her people and her allies, she revealed the truth. She was no common aide, but the last surviving heir of Anequina's royal line, daughter of King Hamilcar, rightful queen of Rimmen. Her revelation lit a fire in the Khajiiti defenders. Together they brought down the dragon Balokdan, proving that Elsweyr would not bow, not to Euraxia, not to necromancers, not even to dragons. From Riverhold, the counterattack began. The defense force, under Khamira's guidance and with the Vestige's aid, infiltrated Rimmen. There they destroyed Euraxia's siege weapons and struck her down within her stolen palace. At last, after 6 years of tyranny, the usurper queen was no more. The throne of Anequina stood empty, and Hamilcar's last heir, Khamira, rose to claim it. She was crowned Queen of Anequina, sworn to restore the old Elsweyr Confederacy and defend her people from the dragon menace now unleashed. Yet even as Khamira ascended, a darker legend stirred, the tale of Cadwell the Betrayer. Long ago he had fought beside the hero Kunzar-Rhi, but pride consumed him. He murdered his companions, tried to move the moons themselves, and sought to unlock Jode's core, where the power to bind or free the dragons lay hidden. Now, through the schemes of the necromancer Zumog Foom, the betrayer's shade returned, and he was drawn once more to the moons, threatening to repeat his ancient treachery. It was Khamira who led the charge to confront this danger. Guided by visions of her ancestor Anequina Sharptongue, she traveled to the Shadow Dance Temple, where Anequina herself had once moved the moons to aid Kunzar-Rhi. There, the temple relics recognized her bloodline. In sacred rites, Khamira attuned herself to the lunar lattice, forging a bond not only to her ancestors' legacy, but to the moons themselves. This was more than magic. It was heritage. It was destiny. Where the betrayer had turned his back on Khajiiti tradition, Khamira embraced it, drawing strength from her people's oldest truths. In the depths of the ruins, Cadwell the Betrayer appeared. Arrogant, vengeful, and drunk on the fragments of his old power, he sought once again to shift the moons and unseal Jode's core. The battle was hard fought. The Vestige and allies struck him down, but with his dying act, the betrayer succeeded in forcing an eclipse. The moon gate of Anequina opened, and the dragons gained their way into the sacred realm. The betrayer's selfishness doomed Elsweyr once before. Now, even in death, he had nearly doomed it again. Yet the story does not end with Cadwell's treachery. It ends with Khamira's strength. Attuned to the moons, bearing the legacy of Anequina Sharp Tongue and wielding the Anequina Dragon Horn, Khamira led her people to the Moon Gate. There she faced the dragons not as a hidden agent, not as a ward of Gerishri, but as queen. Through fire, betrayal, and loss, she had risen to stand where Cadwell had fallen. A hero to her people, a true daughter of Anequina. Cadwell the betrayer remains a warning. Even the greatest champions may fall when pride outweighs loyalty. But opposite his shadow stands Queen Khamira, a ruler forged in loss, who rose to defy both tyrants and dragons, and whose bond to her people proved stronger than betrayal, necromancy, or even the fury of the skies. Her story reminds us that legends are not only written by those who fall, but by those who rise in their place.